Nick speaking, and welcome to this video, Eldar Learning Curve, and today we're looking at the Dark Reaper. So I'm going to share my learning curve that I have, and hopefully it might help you guys out. So let's have a look at Dark Reapers. Now these guys are 35 points each, so they are not a cheap mini. Now it's the same scenario with some of the other units that I've talked about, where I obviously have the models, I have used the models, but I sort of went off in a different direction with the 5th edition book, where I was basically just going off mech, Samhan and full mech armies, and the foot star really didn't happen for me. I still used these guys mainly when I played Cities of Death, because let's face it, with Cities of Death there's so much cover around, and what we'll talk about in a minute is his ability to ignore cover. So they were fantastic for Cities of Death, but I didn't really use them much in normal games. 6th edition though, it is slightly different, and I am actually doing a foot dart army with the 6th edition book. But to be honest with you, I still don't include Dark Reapers. Now I know they are coming back into flavour quite a bit. Let's have a quick look at the stats. So they have Reaper Launcher, so 48 inch, so nice long range game. Strength 5, great for killing bodies, and AP 3, fantastic, reducing the armour save, and they get 2 shots each as well. They are heavy weapons, you can't move and shoot, but you can't have everything. So these guns here are actually quite good, and that's probably why they're 35 points a model. And you can take the X-Arts. Now these shoot on Ballistic Skill 4, which is fantastic for Eldar, so you'll be hitting on 3s. But he's got the Ballistic Skill 5, so he'll be hitting on 2s, and he has a few extra options. So you can take Shuriken Cannon, which no one takes, the Missile Launcher and the Tempest Launcher. And the Tempest Launcher is a guess weapon, so basically it's a barrage weapon, and it's a heavy 2, so you get 2 blasts. The Missile Launcher is just like a normal missile basically, so you can have crack and you can have frag or plasma as it is in the Eldar Codex. So the Tempest Launcher is basically, that's the one to go for. It's 20 points, but it's well worth it. With the Ballistic Skill 5 you're not going to scatter much, and with the X-Art powers that you can take makes it even better, because you can have fast shots, which basically you can gain either 1 extra shot, which is fantastic, so effectively it's 3 blast weapons. And then you've got crack shot. Sadly you can't use both at the same time, but crack shot will give you no cover saves to your opponent, or you can use it to, and you can re-roll your fouled wounds. So crack shot is probably the best one, although having the extra blast template is very useful. And there's 2 things that I'm just going to talk about now, which will determine which one you use. So everyone's on foot nowadays, not so many vehicles around generally, and it might change now that maybe Tau Codex has come out, but there's a lot of people on foot, and AP2 is the key thing now to foot armies. Everyone's got an AP2 guy at the front, well, apart from Eldar, taking all the wounds. So your AP3 guns aren't quite as good as they could be, not until you've killed this guy at the front. Once you've killed him, fantastic. So imagine AP3 shooting Marines without a Terminated Armoured AP2 guy at the front, with no cover save, fantastic. All that extra blast shots, if you are in cover you're going to get cover save, just whack in an extra blast shot. So you basically, when you take your X-Art, you want to be selecting both fast shot 20 points and crack shot for 10 points. Both of those mandatory. We're basically buying this unit here for this one guy. He's the one that's going to do the damage. And interestingly, you can actually have a unit of 3 of these, which actually is pretty good, because if you want to keep the points down, a unit of 3, if you can hunker them in a decent piece of terrain, and if you have your own defence line, you can hunker them in the defence line. And of course this guy can actually shoot the gun, the quad gun, using his stats, using his rules, so reducing it's giving you the extra re-rolling to wound, potentially from crack shot and no cover saves. very, very useful. So yeah, it's actually quite a useful unit, but they are expensive. So I mean, a group of 3 with the Exarch powers is quite a reasonable amount of points. So it's whether you're going to invest in those, and of course they are also up against other heavy support choices which we haven't necessarily come across yet, and we've done the support weapon so far, which is a good cheap choice, but we've got some other very, very good heavy support choices coming up in these videos. So before you go out and buy your Dark Reapers, maybe watch the rest of this series. I'm not saying don't get these, I'm not saying they don't work, I'm not saying they're not good, but are they the best heavy support choice that we have available? We'll find out later in the series, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, got something from it. I'm going to skip past these now, and then I'm going to go on to the next one, which is Wraith Lords. Okay, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. More to come.